Good
morning! Welcome to the BYOB Morning Show. If you was not up before this broadcast, I guarantee you after you heard my voice, you sure woke up, girl. Good morning! Y'all, I am very excited to be here. We are having an amazing discussion this morning. It is going to be a beautiful day. And I'm going to have my co-hosts go ahead and introduce themselves.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the BYOB Morning Show. I am excited to be here with you this morning. The sun is shining. It is beautiful. You probably can see it shining all over my face. It feels so good to see and greet the world in the sunshine. I'm going to hand it on over to my co-host.
morning, everybody. Chiquita Lindsay. I'm so excited about today. I'm going out of the house today.
Miss Chiquita.
I never would have thought just going out the door would just be so exciting to get out.
Isn't that the truth?
So welcome to the BYOB show. Please share and invite on the broadcast.
You on mute.
All right, quit trying to take my spot, Miss Berlin.
I'm sorry, that position has been filled. Good morning. I'm Verlin Smith Randolph, and it is, I'm going to say it, it's Friday. It was like, don't date it. It's Friday, y'all, and Friday does make a difference. Some people say it's just another day, but every day is a new day, so the day is different. It's just another Friday. Welcome to the BYOB Morning Show, and we want to know how y'all operating this morning.
Absolutely. I'm on mute now. Absolutely. Welcome. It's Friday. What do we want to talk about today, ladies? I think it's Friday, and you know how folks always celebrate Fridays? Because it's the last day of the week. It's the last day this week you have to go to work. There's that W word. So we're going to talk about this morning. Stop celebrating just over broke. What does that mean? Stop celebrating that job that just over broke. And folks said, why stop celebrating it? Well, I mean, if you create something for yourself, you can celebrate every day. Every day could be your Friday if that's what you wanted your day to be. What y'all think?
You know what, Rosa, you're right. I mean, some people, I think they're celebrating things because they're in their comfort zone. How can I say that? We say today's Friday, they're celebrating getting paid, but are they really getting ahead?
That's a good. Go on, Chiquita.
They're just celebrating being able to pay their bills today, being able to put gas in their car today. So why not really celebrate having more than enough for today, enough for tomorrow, enough for next week, and not have to wait on every Friday to feel like that's the only time you can celebrate. You can celebrate every day.
Right, that overflow.
Right. That's that overflow. Right.
Nothing like that overflow. Because if your cup is full and it's overflowing into the saucer, well, wow, you get to celebrate today, tomorrow, next week, the week after. You know, some folks, Chiquita, you were saying, you know, they celebrating just having enough to pay their bills. But you know, when some people get their paychecks on either weekly or bi-weekly or every other Friday or twice a month, the money is already spent. You know, the money's already gone. You see your stub, you look at what you would have gotten, but it's already gone. It's almost like it evaporates into thin air.
Yeah, you're right. And, you know, we're thankful that we can pay our bills, but we don't want women to live like that. Because there's some other things you can do. I can remember getting a paycheck stub and they would say, oh, today's payday. I want to forget when it's payday.
Now I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah, you're like, oh, today's payday. Well, I still have money from last week.
Right.
Yeah, today's payday again. Yeah. So, and I remember feeling getting the pay. I wasn't in no hurry to get the paycheck stub. It was already gone.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to start looking for the next 2 weeks, trying to see how I'm going to struggle for the next 2 weeks. With that, and sometimes you get so used to that, you just thankful for whatever you get and try to hold on for those 2 weeks when we don't have to do that anymore. We don't. And that's why we're here offering the grants, free women grants, because we don't have to live like that anymore. If nobody ever told you, we're telling you now. You do not have to live that way. The certifications and the free grant program, go and see the 12 different areas we have to offer you. Go to www.blackwomenequalpay.com. We're talking about us getting what's supposed to be ours. Black Women Equal Pay Day all year. We're never going to stop. We're still protesting.
Sure.
I wanted to hit on some pain points of instead of just saying, struggle, let's name some things that us everyday women we struggle with. Okay, so grocery shopping. I have a family of 4. At one point, it was just me, myself, and I, and then it was me and my husband, and now it's 2 other kids. Ooh, when you ain't got the money to get a gallon of milk and the cereal to match, but you working every day of the week. You got to make some changes. It's a lot of things in today's world in 2020 that is necessary to have within the household that 10, 20 years ago, it wasn't a necessity. Let's talk about internet. It is a necessity to have internet nowadays. This is no, and maybe in single households, it's, a choice. But when you got more than one person living in that household and you got a child now, because school is online, and they telling you need these equipment for school, but who gonna help you out that $80 bill? That's an additional $80, between $80 and $150 a month.
Wow.
Yes. So on a smaller scale, if you are struggling with these day-to-day things, if these day-to-day bills that you're already calculating is going to take money out of your paycheck, and you are already thinking okay, so now it ain't $80 for this internet or $80 for this groceries. Both of them are equally important.
Right.
You can't pick and choose no more. You have to do something to supplement your income. You have to.
Yeah.
On top of that, now not only do you have to have internet in your house, but if you have a school age child, you have to have a laptop. A laptop is anywhere between $700 and $2,000. And that's for one child. Because school is from 8 to 3 in some places. You can't say, Johnny over here, you get it for an hour, and then Susie get to share it. No, each child needs a laptop. And these are not choices anymore. These are necessities that we need in our households. Right. It's hard to keep up.
Right. You make some very valid points, Ebony, because when we think about just over broke and not having enough from one paycheck cycle to another, we don't think about all of the extra things that have now popped up because of the pandemic. I was just thinking about the groceries versus the electric bill, or the water bill versus buying your medication, or someone in the family gets sick and needs help, and you have to choose between paying the mortgage or paying the rent versus being able to slip $200-300 into somebody's hand because they need some help. But you make some really good points that are right here in our face right now because of the current situation. You know, internet, computers, the extra time, the investment in the software to run all of the programs that the schools require that the kids have. You know, those are absolutely extra costs that where's the money going to come from?
Right. You're right.
When you already robbing Paulina to pay Paula, you know. Right. So to keep the internet on and keep the kids in school, because think about that, that's how you keeping your kids in school. At one time, if you didn't have enough from paycheck to paycheck, you knew when you sent your children to school, if you couldn't feed them breakfast at home that morning because things were tight, they get breakfast at school. They get lunch at school. So you really could scale back and say, I only have to provide for dinner. Now, because they are home in school, because think about that.
Sorry, y'all.
That's all right. Now, because they're at home all the time, you feed them all day long because they don't just want breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They know they're home. So they know they get to snack on whatever whatever's there, or whenever their stomachs say, I want something to eat. So yes, today's necessities are additions to 10 or 20 years ago. Jeffrey, you are absolutely correct. So yeah, those are things that you have to think about when you are working just over broke.
You're right. And you know what, Rosie? I mean, we've done things throughout the year that, our years of living to make budgets work and feed our children. And I can remember it was cheaper to feed your kid when school was in, because like you said, they were feeding them lunch. And then as soon as summertime comes, kids eat all day.
All day long.
It takes a lot to feed children. They're growing. Guess what? A box of Hamburger Helper don't do nothing anymore.
Mm-mm.
Girl, there's not as many ounces in a box of hamburger. We could get a pound of hamburger and some Hamburger Helper and fill them up. Now the pasta in the box is not even pasta. It's junk.
It's junk. And then there's only a half a box when you open it.
Exactly. They have cut the size of the box down.
Cut the size and increase the price. So it's even harder for us to stretch $1. And Roman noodles are wax.
Yeah. So it's a trade-off. You don't have enough money. You're feeding your kids a bunch of junk and fake food to get through the week. And if that's all you got to do to give them something right now, okay, but you don't have to live that way. You can start doing something different. And children where the parents make more money, they're healthier.
That's another good point, because when you're broke, you have to make certain decisions. And like you said, a box of Hamburger Helper, it's only a half a box, and it's not real.
It's not.
It's not real. Yeah. And you want to feed your kids healthy fruits and vegetables.
Right. All processed.
And that's why it's so cheap. But we just don't want that to be a permanent thing.
Exactly.
So for women out there that's just, my kid got to eat something. That's okay for now, but what are you doing to change the situation? Because it's up to you to start changing, making small steps to change your situation.
Exactly. Making small steps, because those small steps is what leads to larger steps. And when you make those small steps, that's when resources and things, it would seem like they pop up for you out of the blue.
Yeah.
To help you make those bigger steps. But the first step you need to make is to go to www.blackwomenequalpay.com and take a look, at the site and see what's provided and what the information is that could help you take that first small step.
And we got Jeroni, how he said, what about expensive clothes? How expensive clothes are? Everything is going up. Well, how can a little clothes that fit a little 4-year-old cost 30 and 40, and it's only this big on material?
And in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month, the kid has outgrown it.
And expensive tennis shoes on a kid they only last 2 to 3 months.
And they're just as expensive as putting shoes on our feet.
Right.
Now, give me say, Ebony,
So,
I
real
know
story.
you can speak to that.
Yes.
Real story, you guys. So when I always struggled in the beginning of my children's lives, because even a pack of diapers, they don't make diapers the same. So it's almost now that the name brands, you really have to get the name brands, because the name brands last for at least an hour on your child. Unlike the drugstore brand where you put it on your child pees one time and you got to switch out the diapers.
Ooh.
Wow.
I remember it was days that I used to cry because I could not afford diapers. And I just have this thing where it's a woman's thing where we just cannot ask for help. Yeah. And I just felt like if I had asked for help or someone else to buy my baby's diapers, then that would equal into failure. And I just remember just crying and just, going in between the couches, trying to find, the coins and everything. But do you guys know, like right now, people aren't even accepting cash. So them new mommies out there who are struggling with diapers right now, there's no such thing as a under the table paying job right now, because people aren't accepting cash. So you have to make a difference. You have to start doing something different. This is why these certifications are just so necessary. There's no such thing as just going to the bar now and getting paid under the table. People are only card.
Yeah, there's something else going on with the cash thing. There's a bigger issue going on. So please, people, stay awake. But Coach, the Dr. Reverend Danielle Winningham, whose platform of the BYOB Morning Show, she says most women's asker is broke.
Yep.
And sometimes you're just too proud to ask. So we need to definitely fix our asker. And we have to. We got to do something for ourselves. Can't depend on everybody.
We have to, because at a point you get tired of having more than money.
Mm-hmm.
And after that happens so many times, and you wondering, and you saying to yourself, it has to be a better way. What else can I do? I have to do something. And you do have options. You don't have to go out there working 6, 7, 8, 10 jobs. You can take what you already know.
Yep.
What you do every day and work it. Make it work for you.
Yeah, 6, 7, 8 jobs for 6, 7, 8 people, sis. You're right.
I'm going to have to be transparent this morning.
Right. And then when you're not working those jobs, who's raising the kids?
That's where I was going to.
Who's spending time with your husband?
Go ahead, Chiquita. I'm going to be transparent this morning. I remember when Ebony, I was younger than you. I was in my 20s. I worked 3 jobs, 1 full-time job, 2 part-time jobs. At that time, because I liked having enough, or just a little bit more than enough. Then I found out at 20, I was pregnant. I was working 3 jobs, trying to hold my head up and be pregnant. Now that was 35 years ago, and it was rough. And I realized at that point that there had to be more. But you get caught up in life. You have to take care of your daughter. You still got to go to work. I did release 1 of those jobs, but I kept 2. But you always have that feeling that there is something more. So it took a while to get to that something more, that investing in me, because I got so caught up on the hamster wheel because I knew I had to provide. I went to school, I worked 2 jobs, I took care of the baby. But Chiquita, you make a good point. Who's taking care of your children? Now, I was blessed enough that I had my mother and my daughter had a nanny, but that wasn't mama. That wasn't me there, and I often think back on that now, and I regret that because I was there for the first steps and things like that, but I still wasn't there sometimes for the crucial moment. It was either my mother or her nanny. But even though she was safe, she was well taken care of, she was well loved, she was protected, but she didn't have her mama when her eyes were open during those waking moments. Now, when mama came to pick her up, she sleep or half sleep, ready to go to bed, got to go get some little bit of rest so you can start all over the next day. So if that's you, now mind you, that was 35 years ago. And things have not changed, unfortunately, that much now. So if you have that drawing, that feeling that there's something more, then go to www.blackwomenequalpay and see the information, view the information, and see where you can carve out just a little bit of time for you so that you can start getting your something more now.
Can I tell you a little story? I got permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Great. Thank you, Verlene. I didn't know if we were froze. When my kids were little, my husband worked day shift and I worked second. So before he came home, I had dinner cooked, and then I went to work and I never got home until he put the kids in the bed. My daughter says today, she's grown, Mama, we never remembered you coming up.
Wow.
Daddy, I was always there.
Wow, Chiquita.
Because I worked second shift.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't think about the time you're providing. We're making sure we don't have to have daycare. I'm making sure they, school clothes is straight, food's on the table. When I went to work before they came home, and they was always asleep when I got home.
Wow. How did that make you feel when she said that, Chiquita?
It hurt a bit because I never thought about it. I said, what do you mean? I had the food cook, I had everything. Yeah, but Daddy had us in bed at 8 o'clock and we never saw you. We saw you in the morning getting off to school, and that was it. They didn't see that I had dinner fixed for them and everything for them.
But you know why? Because the children don't look at it, and we never, and that's another thing. We never think that they would be paying attention to something like that.
Right.
To remember it. Right. But they do. They right. do pay attention and they do remember it. Yeah, right. They knew that their bellies were full, but they didn't put that together with Mama did that for me so that she could provide on another end. A lot of times all the children want is you and your time.
Right.
Right. Your time.
Right.
Because they do, as we see, they do remember. They pay attention. Right. And they're watching us. That's another good point. They are watching us. So if they see us running, working a job, day in, day out, that's programming them to do the same thing.
Right.
They don't hear us talk about our dreams. They don't hear us trying to fulfill them or try to pursue them. They just see us go to work day in and day out.
Right. And that's because you're in survival mode.
Exactly.
We should not be running our life consistently in survival mode. And that's why these certifications are so great, that while you're working, you can be getting a certification, so you can run your own business and make more money. Have more quality time with the family and still pay the bills. Not worry about what's not getting paid.
Exactly. And especially at this time, because Coach is offering $1 million in grants. So exactly. Asking your mom, why isn't Dad ever home? I bet you never thought because Dad was out working to provide for us. All you know is that the presence is not there.
Right.
The presence is not there. And the thing of it is, back then, there was help, but we didn't want to ask for help unless we absolutely had to. And now, Coach is not giving you a hand out. She's helping to give you a hand up so that you don't have to repeat the stories that you hear us talking about now. Because they're not just stories. That was real life back then.
Right.
You know, and even Ebony, not for us, it was back then, but for her, it's now. It's in the now.
It's now. It's now.
Yeah.
I wanted to speak on, because you just said how Coach has built us a community where help is a thing. And I remember when I had Coach was having something, and I was like, I made a joke about, can nobody afford all that? And Coach nipped it in the butt real quick. I can't say word for word what she said to me because I'm really bad at word for word, but to paraphrase, pretty much, I got a community here. And y'all not gonna judge me because I'm asking for help. Y'all, the same way that I feel excited to offer my help is the same way you guys feel. And when she put that into my head, I realized that when you're in a community, in a healthy community, where you don't mind being vulnerable, where you don't mind, yes, where it's okay to grow, where it's okay to shed that skin. That's the thing, that thick skin, I'm shedding that now. Because I don't have to walk around with thick skin no more. I can shed that because I have sisters now that can help, and not just, you know, the guidance that you guys give me, the advice that you guys give me, the likes on my pictures, all of that just matters because we're all just so raised to be so independent. That's what it is, that independent. You got to be strong. You can't depend on nobody. People are going to let you down. That's that way on the outside. But in this community, Coach has made it so that that's not a thing here. That talk that I do outside of this community, that's not within this community. That's just so, that's changed. So when you're in a community where it's healthy, it's thriving, and you can shed that thick skin, you start realizing how that's what you want around you. And then you start making those changes in your personal life. And it just comes so naturally. I don't force myself to not talk to certain people. I'm legit busy because I have people in this community that's depending on me to do something, that's motivating me to do something, that's spending their time supporting me. And I'm not going to let them down. But more importantly, I'm not going to let myself down. When my son asked, he wanted a VR for Christmas. One of those things. It's between $300 and $500. Oh. The normal me, I would have been like, boy, look, let me get you some sunglasses. I'm gonna paste some pictures inside them sunglasses, and there you go.
Girl.
Remember the little viewer? Remember the little viewer we said with the cards?
Oh boy.
I was able to say, well, maybe you can ask Santa. My son, his rebuttal was, well, mommy, how much hair you got to sell to get the money?
Oh, entrepreneur there.
I said, well, let's find out. My son sat there with me and we figured out how many either wigs I got to sell or bundles I got to sell to be able to get him what he wants.
Just like Ola said, children are very observant. They see and hear more than we think.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And it's good. So you teaching, see, he's watching you build your business. He's watching, and he says, why are you building, mama? Let's see what we can do to get me my VR.
He said, it's got to be some kind of benefit in it for me. But it's just, when you're able to do that, when you're able to provide that for the ones that's around you, not only did he just say, like, I don't want to skip over something. No, he said, let's figure it out pretty much. Not, mama, you figure it out. My son sat there with me and we did math together. So not only was that, it was a bonding experience also, because I realized my son, he a killer with math. He must have got that from his daddy. Cause I said, "Ooh, you look at you, look at my baby doing math." And it's just amazing to be able to not only bite the apple, but sit there and enjoy it in all its flavor. That was what I got out of that.
Yeah.
I didn't have to put more hours in at somebody else's job. You know, I got friends right now that they got to work overtime. It's the holiday time. They got to pick up new shifts.
Ooh, child.
And I'm just so thankful that I found this community where I don't have to do that. On Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is coming up, I can enjoy Thanksgiving with my family, not worried about, I ain't got to worry. I don't have to worry about somebody having to go to work, somebody not being there. So this opportunity has given me the opportunity to pull my family in together.
Yeah.
We are united. And I wouldn't trade that for the world.
You know what, Ebony, you're right. Places like UPS, and you know, I know at this time of the year, seasonable work, they do say no time off.
They sure
No
do.
time off.
Mandatory
You know
work.
what? If that was me, yeah, I'm gonna work this season, but I'm gonna use that money to get the heck out. I'm not gonna use to buy 10 Christmas trees, Tonka trucks, a bunch of toys, a bunch of clothes, you know, for kids and for everybody else. I'm gonna be selfish and say, oh, next year they're not gonna tell me when I can't have off.
That's right.
Because I'm gonna have a different career. This is not what I want to do for the rest of my life. This is not what I want to look for in the middle of the year. Oh, I'm gonna be working extra and have extra money for Christmas. It's not gonna be, I'm not gonna be that consumer of material things with that money. I'm going to use it to empower me. And that's what's great. If you're in that situation, use that money to get certified so you don't have to work 7 days a week, 8 and 10 hours a day just to make extra money. And then have to try to wait for the next year to work again to have extra money. You gotta wait, you're trying to wait on that tax check so you can buy that 75-inch television.
That you won't have time to be at home to watch because you got to work to pay.
Exactly.
Make up that money that you've blown.
Right. Exactly. I run up the credit cards, take you all year to pay them down and start all over. Get off the hamster wheel. You can do it.
Right.
We can do it. So go to www. Black Women Equal Pay. There's 12 areas you can be certified and build your own business online. People still building businesses, even doing what's going on in the world. People still need help. You can still solve other people's problems and get paid for it.
Because most likely you're solving someone's problem already for free. So you take that knowledge. If you're solving one or two people's problems, I can guarantee you there's 1,000 more out there who's looking for that same answer. You just need to know the resources and have the information and the education to know how to find them. And not necessarily know how to find them, but know how to position yourself to be found. Because we don't chase anything. It chases us. But It's all about your education and the positioning so that you can be found. And to start that journey of being found, go to www.blackwomenequalpay.com. And like they say, look at the certifications. We have 12 of them. And on top of that, Coach is offering $1 million in grants. So what does that look like? That looks like if a program is $6,500, the grant will cover $5,500 of that. It's $1,000. Because you have to have some skin in the game. Anything that you get for free, you do not value. You may value it in the beginning, but it's going to drop off. Statistics show that. And heck, I can stand right here and say it will drop off. Anything you get for free, You're not gonna pay attention to it in so long. So you have to get in the game, because in building a business, you're not gonna build it for free. Whether you build it some other way, whether you get a certification, you're gonna either pay on the front end or you're gonna pay on the back end, but you're gonna pay. And
you're gonna pay something, right?
This is not a payment, this is an investment. An investment in you. And what better ground is there to sow seed in than you? Yes, absolutely.
All right, you guys. So it is such an amazing day, and we gotta start our day. Aren't you guys excited to start y'all personal days? I mean, it's
fun. Look, the sun is shining bright. It's a nice crisp morning, and it's gonna get warm. Woo! It's gonna be a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Verlin, now you know we need you to close us on out.
Verlin shaking her head. I'm over here singing.
Right, Mr. Rogers. Anyway, bro, I thought we discussed earlier no singing today.
Oh, but no singing today. I'm sorry. I take it back. Y'all know I wrote a song about it.
Go to the link and just check it out. You know, every morning we get up here and we ask you to not do something for us, but to do it for you. Because that just over broke, it's no joke. That's a real thing. It's living, it's live, and it's thriving. We don't have to be a part of that. You don't have to be a part of that. We're not telling you to just take that leap or just jump off the cliff. No, you can take baby steps, but the right steps in the right direction. This is an opportunity, and again, we'll say we often overlook the opportunities that are right before us because it's not packaged the way we think it should package. It didn't come the way we thought it should come. It's coming from the left and not from the right. It's not coming through her, it's coming through her over there. And we miss our opportunities. But here's an opportunity right here before you that will just make that difference and give you that break that you so rightfully deserve and need. So go to www.blackwomenequalpay.com, look over the list of certifications, and apply for a grant. You too can become a recipient. We have receipts.
Yes, we do.
This is a successful program.
Yes, we do.
Okay, we have several receipts. We have several success stories, and you too can have and write your own story. But you have to take the steps, and there's a process. And most of all, do it for you. Because if you don't do it, there's your answer. Same old thing. More money than money. And who wants to continue looking in the baby's face and say, Mommy can't do that right now? That hurts. That's painful. Not only for your child, but for you as well. So go to www.blackwomenequalpay.com and take a look at it. Take a chance on you. Take a chance on your family. Take a chance on building your legacy. Not someone else's, but a legacy of your own. We thank you so much for joining us this week. We really enjoyed it. Every day we come is a blessing, and we hope that we're able to inspire and enlighten you in some way to do you. Do just a little bit for you every day. And I tell you, you'll have a difference in your life. Thank you for joining us, Coach Danielle. We thank you again, as always, and we appreciate you. Have a wonderful, wonderful Friday and a blessed weekend. See you on Monday. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good day. Have a great day on purpose.